What's up everyone, Brian Phobos here. Today we're going to talk about a donation to Andreas Antonopoulos. There was kind of a crazy exchange on Twitter we're going to talk about here in a second, but if you don't know who Andreas Antonopoulos is, I definitely recommend going and searching out his videos on YouTube and watching some of his speeches. Unbelievable speaker and unbelievable chaperone for blockchain technology and Bitcoin since he first found out about it in probably 2011 or 2012. He's traveled the world and he's wrote a couple books. He's got a third book coming out in January. We are so lucky to have this guy, and if you do know who he is, you know what I'm talking about. This guy is an excellent speaker and can really paint the vision and use analogies, and he's just extremely knowledgeable about the technology and everything. So I've read his book, Mastering Bitcoin, have listened to him for years. I used to listen to all kinds of podcasts and just countless hours of listening to him that really built my knowledge up. And I definitely owe him a debt of gratitude for teaching me all that stuff. So one of the things that got said on Twitter, and I just thought this was super distasteful. I saw this last night and I actually got pissed off. And I was always like pretty neutral on Roger Ver, and I've agreed with that Bitcoin needed to scale, and so in some respects, I understand what he's saying with Bitcoin Cash and all that. And some of his geriatrics have never bothered me before, but this tweet really pissed me off. Andreas is one of the most eloquent speakers on the topic of Bitcoin, but if he had invested even $300 in Bitcoin back in 2012, he'd be a millionaire today. Andreas responded, he said, I'm not a Bitcoin millionaire. I was working for free instead of investing for first 2 years. Only recently got out of debt. My supporters on Patreon, many at $5 per month, make it possible for me to work. And this is very common, and I think it's maybe shocking to some people that Andreas wasn't a millionaire. He didn't have a lot of cryptocurrency holdings because he wasn't able to stack the coins. He had to, maybe sell them off, or he was getting paid in different ways, or wasn't getting paid, but continued to beat the warpath and champion the technology and everything. So here's another thing he replied. I did invest, Roger. Then I sold in 2013 to pay my rent. I didn't have disposable income to work for 2 years without pay and invest at the same time. I should have gone into more debt, but that would have been irresponsible towards my family who I supported. And I think a lot of us can identify with this. We just don't have the level of cryptocurrency holdings that somebody would anticipate for our knowledge of the technology. And some of that comes from having to play it safer in some respects, or just life happen. We see the last bubble, and the ones of, those of us who went through this was extremely brutal. This just beat the hell out of us, and a lot of us, some of us lost money, try to retake a position, that kind of thing. And then when this one happened, you're always in a way tentative, and each one of these booms and then like sharp declines, you're thinking, well, the same thing, I've been through this, I know how it feels. And so it was really tough to get out of our heads. And I've seen people on Steemit saying the same thing, people on YouTube, that they had a lot of coins and they got busted here, just broke them. And then when this one happened, it still didn't seem, with some of the issues with transaction fees and blocks getting filled up and all that kind of stuff, he just could not see this unimpeded vertical rise. We've never seen this in the history of the world, for something to go up this fast, this far, and that amount of capital. It's never happened. So it's almost unchallenged. There's no blips hardly in it. It's just straight past the moon, straight out of our solar system, straight to Alpha Centauri. This is absolutely unreal. And it's been a very emotional thing for a lot of us for the last 2 or 3 days, depending on our holdings. And yeah, it's kind of like Andreas. He's like, I should have went into more debt. Well, hindsight's 2020. We couldn't expect that kind of ascent, you know, because we didn't even have that unbridled of an ascent back in 2013, and that's just this just doesn't happen. So you know, yeah, you can sit there and say, well, I should have went down to Mexico and sold both my kidneys, or, you know, I should have not paid my mortgage, you know, and invested more into Bitcoin. And then when I made a bunch of money, then I would, you know, pay off the defaulted 6 months in the past and catch back up or something. You know, I mean, you can't, it's just impossible, you know, to sit there and play that game. And I've ran into some of this where I've had people kind of act here like Roger Vere's doing. I mean, this is such a douchebag remark that what's he trying to say? He's trying to like teach Andreas a lesson or tell him something that Andreas already knows. Andreas obviously understands the economics of it and can look in the past and say, yeah, if I could have just somehow came up with that money and got that and not had to sell it to support his family. So, and I think one of the sad things to me is a guy like Andreas, who's done so much for the community and everything, that he really didn't have a big holdings and he wasn't bitty rich. But then these guys that are these Ponzi scheme promoters have suddenly got bitty rich. And it's just, and that's life, you know, that sucks. But you know what? Today's the day. So Eric Voorhees treated this. I have a lot of respect for Eric. He's, you know, very, you know, an entrepreneur in the space and everything, and done a lot of big things. So if you've ever learned about, participated, used, or benefited from Bitcoin in any way, please donate to Andreas Antonopoulos. Thank you, Andreas. Antonopoulos.com/donate. That's Andreas's website, and you know, you can check that out. And he's got the QR code down here in his custom address, one Andreas, and then the rest of the address. So he's got that unique address. Well, anyway, I mean, even though a lot of us, we don't have the cryptocurrency holdings that we wish we did, but I can tell you this, I might not have any cryptocurrency holdings if it wasn't for Andreas and kind of the vision he instilled and the knowledge that he instilled when I listened to his podcast and watched his videos and stuff. So anyway, and as an interesting twist, I ended up selling $75 worth of Bitcoin Cash, and you know, it's just 75 bucks. You know, I don't have like tons and tons of crazy crypto to just, you know, drop several Bitcoins or something on him. But every bit counts, and this wallet is adding up, guys. So I sent 75 just a little bit ago here to one Andreas, you know, and his address and everything. And again, you can get that from his website, or search Eric Voorhees and find this tweet and click on there to get that address and everything. So I sent over the 75. That's already went, and the here's his address. Like if you look it up on blockchain.info or whatever. But now he's up to 58 Bitcoin. Here, let's refresh this. See if we got any more. It might be, yeah, it already refreshed. So he's up to 58 Bitcoin. That's over $1 million, which is amazing. And I think he even tweeted that he's just kind of blown away, you know, with how the communities come together and everything. So it's over $1 million. I'd love to see this get to $2 million total for him, and he really deserves it. So, you know, in a weird way, Roger Vere's douchebag tweet ended up spurring on, you know, this community campaign, and everybody's dumping in his wallet. He definitely deserves it. So anyway, if you guys have a story of, you know, a situation where, you know, you had hardship and you had to get rid of some coins or whatever, or what you're doing to try to rebuild, because right now there's a lot of people with their head down that they feel like they missed it and they're having to sit on the sidelines and all that stuff like that. But there might be some stuff you can do. You can maybe blog on Steam. The price of Steam's went up, so, you know, earnings could go up. Steam dollar is going pretty hot right now. It's actually going for a crazy amount because it's supposed to be pegged to $1 and stuff. So maybe you're in some crypto blogging. Maybe you can, you know, do some mining and stuff, do some trades and stuff, and just get in on some of this price action. It's just absolutely been unreal. And today we had a really weird situation. This candlestick clear up to 19,000. GDAX is just tripping out today. Seriously, went clear up to 19,000. Then this next candle, or the second or two later or whatever, went way down. And this is like a $6,000 spread right here. And then GDAX went down. See, there's no candlestick here. It actually went out. There's so much volume just flowing in. It is absolutely unreal. And people have FOMO harder than any other market in the entire world ever has never seen this kind of FOMO. So anyway, guys, if you can, even if it's just 20, 30 bucks or something like that, think about supporting Andreas. If he's helped you out, he instilled a lot of knowledge in me for sure. And go ahead and subscribe if you like this video, like the video, and then follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, Steam it, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. See you guys later.